Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
Thank you for being with us today.
Of course.
We're going to start off talking a little bit about your personal story and your journey with disordered eating and, body image, all that stuff. We all can relate to it. So I'm sure we'll have our own stories to tell as well. So can you share with us your personal journey with body image and disordered eating?
Yes. So as a child, I don't really ever remember having an eating disorder or really even paying attention to people that were heavy or thin. But I do remember going with my grandmother as a 6-year-old little girl to Weight Watchers forever because she had a weight problem. And I also remember watching my mother, who was a busy mother of 3 kids, all day long, not eat. And then at the end of the evening, make herself like a little fold-over sandwich, just a piece of bread, meat and cheese, eat that. And that was it for the day. So I guess the seeds were kind of planted, but I don't think I really started to pay attention until I got much older. And I think, as I went like maybe graduated from high school, went more into college, you gain those famous freshman 15. And I did that. And then I was in a relationship that was pretty abusive. And I think I started to, how someone starts to devalue you. And so that kind of became like probably the first part of that. Yeah. So I just would, I think, eat to soothe pain.
Oh, yeah. Not eating.
So that's kind of where that started. I don't really think that was the root of the problem, but kind of where I noticed it started.
I know when I was young, my mom she tried every single diet. We went to Jack LaLanne's. We went to, she had every fitness gadget in the house, like the one that you put on the doorknob and you're like messing with your legs and your arms and everything. That was my whole life. And she was always on a constant weight loss journey. And it was Weight Watchers too. Right. That was just kind of like what we did. That was me hanging out with my mom.
Same thing. Like so many cans of tuna fish. Because Weight Watchers was like huge on tuna fish then. So there was tuna fish everywhere.
Yeah.
And I remember the Seago, like protein drinks. And my other grandmother had those in her freezer. Like it was just, the seeds were planted because we just learned to kind of hide in that, like hide behind all that.
Yeah.
So how has your relationship changed with food and your body since 40 and going through perimenopause and menopause?
So menopause is a huge thing. I don't think I realized at the time actually what was going on. I was a gym owner. We were very active all the time. And I noticed that no matter what I did, I really wasn't losing weight. I was getting bigger actually. And I decided that I was going to join this weight loss challenge with the group. And I will never forget one of the other gym owners, Terry. She's a really good friend of mine. She was like, I went to her and I was like, Terry, I don't understand. I'm doing everything we talked about and I'm just gaining weight. She goes, well, quit eating bread. I'm like, what? I haven't had bread in 2 weeks. What are you talking about? And I became very I guess I started to isolate myself, started pulling away because I was like, this is not working. That was when I trained for my first rock and roll half marathon, ran all the time, did everything I was supposed to, still continued to gain weight. Felt awful, felt like I was dying. I would go to the doctor, actually a chiropractor, and I'd say, something's wrong with me. I think I have cancer. And he's like, you don't have cancer. You're going through menopause.
Oh my God.
You need to go see a good doctor. And I don't know why, just in the back of my mind, I just never could let that sink in. Mm-hmm. And so it just continued to kind of plummet. And I continued to just kind of sit back. And then I guess I went through menopause at 45, which is young.
Yeah.
I went about 10 years and then finally decided that I probably needed to see a doctor that dealt in hormones. And so I reached out to my sister, went and saw a doctor in regard to that. And that's kind of when I learned to get in control of stuff.
Oh, good. I'm glad you went to a doctor.
Me too.
I was going to add on to you said just a weight loss journey. That's kind of when I realized something was not right because Cindy and I started a challenge. I think it was our first challenge we did during COVID. Yeah. And I was eating clean. I was working out and everything, and nothing was happening with my body. I wasn't gaining weight, but it was just like, this is not normal. So that's kind of like when I was like, hey, something's happening.
When you start to notice all the inflammation and just like you retain water and you're gaining weight in places that you never gained it before,
Places.
your body would ache, like my body would ache. I remember that was a huge thing for me, is that I would wake up in the mornings, my feet would hit the floor, and I was like, I just hurt all over. And I think that was one of the reasons why I kept going to the doctor, but I just wasn't going to the right doctor.
Right.
He was directing me, but I didn't listen to him, and I should have probably in the beginning. So I did go 10 years, with nothing.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of women do that. They don't know what's going on with their bodies. And I don't think there's enough education on perimenopause at all.
There's not. And I think we're taught, or we watch and we just think that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I just got to a point where I felt like this is how I'm supposed to feel. I'm getting older now. I'm supposed to hurt all over. I'm supposed to feel like this. I'm supposed to gain weight.
So what has triggered body images for you now in midlife?
When you say true, what do you mean?
So are you still having body image issues?
Oh, definitely.
Like-
Even after 75-pound weight loss, I can go to try on clothes and I'm like, I can pick myself apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked really hard for 3 years to not just get my hormones leveled out, but also to dive deeper into, I am a firm believer that we don't just become addicted to something because we're born with that. We become addicted to something because there's been a trauma or there's been something either early in childhood or later in life that triggered it.
Yeah.
And so I really dove deep in just like self-emotional awareness. Why am I doing this? Why am I picking? And then after I lost the weight, why am I picking myself apart? Why do I continue to look in the mirror and go, oh, because I don't want that person to come back. I loved her, but I don't want her to come back because she masked everything.
And I know when I talk about triggers and things like that, I know for me, I noticed the slightest gain on my legs. Like anytime I see something there, that's automatic trigger. I gotta like work out harder. I gotta go run 10 miles, whatever we gotta do.
Yes.
I think we each have a body part that we focus on more than the other. And for me, it's definitely my legs.
Yeah, mine's my midsection just because that's what menopause did to me.
Mine's my stomach.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think in midlife too, I think that's where most women gain it. I mean, I have more there now than I used to have.
Yeah.
Just when I was in my 30s. So.
Yeah, my sister just said this morning that she said, what is that called? Like a fupa? A fupa. I've never had a fupa. I've always had a flat stomach.
What was it you said, Anne-Marie? You were like, I got back fat.
That's back fat.
Oh, yes.
I never had back fat ever. And arm fat, back fat, that's just now. It just happened.
Well, now I find myself because I have loose skin
weight loss.
and then also with aging comes crepey skin.
Yes.
So it's like,
That's me too.
you battle all those things. So, yeah.
I was looking at my knees in the mirror and I'm like, dang, they're just drooping. Like they're
Fatty.
hanging over. How does that happen? How does body dysmorphia show up in women over 40?
I think it shows up in lots of ways. I think as we age, especially when we start getting weight, we have a tendency to pull away from society, and society has a huge factor in that.
Oh, yeah.
Social medias, magazines, we compare. I think we grow up comparing ourselves. We watch TV, all of those things I think have an impact on us. We see these movie stars or actresses like Cher.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know she's had 1 million plastic surgeries, but wow, she still looks great.
Yeah.
Or, some of them, they spend constant hours in the gym.
Yeah.
So I just feel like we start to pull back. We've taken care of everybody else. It really should be our turn to shine, but I don't know, sometimes I feel like we just hide in the silence, just suffer in silence.
Yeah. For me, I'm always picking myself apart and I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, what else can I fix?
Right.
Oh, wow, there's a wrinkle. I need to go get rid of that.
Right.
Or maybe my lips need a little bit more plumpiness. Yeah. I'm always looking for something to fix all the time, every day. It's just a normal part of every time I look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Why do you think this topic is rarely talked about in midlife?
I just, like Cindy said earlier, I just don't think women are educated about it. I think we spend the majority of our lives raising our children. Then our children grow up, go off, they come back, they have more children. So then we're raising grandbabies. We have aging parents that we're trying to like take care of. And I think still the focus is on everyone around us and not us. And we just don't take care of ourselves the way we should. I do feel like there are more doctors now that focus on women's health and wellness. So I feel like it's coming out, but it has taken a very long time. I think there was just also that stigma. This is the way we're supposed to look.
Yeah. We have so much pressure from everybody else.
Everybody. Society.
I think it's when you look at the statistics and you're talking at least 50% of women feel the same way. Like they're not happy with how they look. They feel like they're overweight. They're always on a diet. We should be talking about this so much more because if you're with 4 women, 2 people feel the same way as you do. And I think we just kind of hide it. Like I don't want the perception to be she's not happy with herself.
Right.
I want people to see me as like, oh, she's having such a great life. Like she's really doing it.
Right.
But like in my mind, I'm always like, oh, I need to look better. I need to work out more. I need to eat better. I'm never satisfied. I'm
Right.
always looking for that. I wouldn't say perfection. Like I want to look my best. You can never get there because they're always reaching out for more in it. There's always one more thing you have to do.
I agree. And I also agree that there's a lot of criticism because then you're becoming selfish. Oh, she's so selfish. You know, she's going and getting Botox and she should be doing this or doing that. You know, there's this sense of selfishness, like, oh, I'm being selfish. I can't do that. I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing too. I think we are, as women, are really hard on each other. We've not learned to lift each other up and support each other rather than criticize.
Oh, yeah.
It's a huge thing.
I know Cindy and I had this conversation. Like, we're telling everybody it's okay to be overweight. It's okay to let your hair grow gray. It's okay to wear frumpy clothes if you feel like it. But why is it not okay to be your best self?
Right.
Why do we judge so hard? Because, yeah, I do care about how I look.
Right.
Why are you judging me for that?
Right.
Yeah, we're judged both ways.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't let yourself go, but you can't take care of yourself. But it's okay for men to do that.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yes.
You know, it's just, I don't know why there's such a freaking magnifying glass on women all
Always.
the time. It
All
just
the
makes
time.
it so hard for
It
us.
does.
How do you think social media and beauty standards impact midlife women, especially when you're struggling with self-image?
Ooh, a lot.
I think one of
That's
the
a
things we need to
huge
remember
one.
about social media is like, for that one picture that looks great, there were 30 pictures that looked horrible.
Yes.
And we forget that.
Yeah.
And filters out the wazoo.
Oh, yeah.
So many filters. Social media is a huge thing, not only just for us as aging women, but for the younger generation. Used to it was magazines and television. It still is to a point, but social media is just like you said. There are so many. I watched a lady the other day. She's really great because I follow her. She's a woman that is, I think she's 52 years old. I love to watch her because she always posts a picture of this is real and this is, you know,
Yeah.
when I finally got the pose I wanted,
Yeah.
you know, and she shows her crepey skin. And then she allows her husband to sneak up on her when she's laying out in the sun and she's got her chin down and you can see all her double chin and she's snoring, you know, as, you know, and then also the pictures where she's just looks great. So yeah, social media is huge. And it reflects back to that same old thing that we were talking about a minute ago, that we get criticized.
I know. I compare myself to people my age all the time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she looks like that. Like, she looks great. There was a video of, I can't remember what actress, and she's mid-50s, and she was dancing. She's such a popular actress. I can't believe I forgot. Anyway, she looked amazing. I was like, I should be looking like that. Like, why am I so lazy? I should look like her.
They have millions of dollars to look that way.
Yeah.
I always have to remind myself that they have the money and they may not be working right now, but they have the personal trainers, the
Yeah.
private chef.
Yeah.
I know.
Someone to watch their kids. I mean, it's so, yeah, I have to remind myself of that all the time. Like, yeah.
You do, because it is the truth. My husband will say, I'll say, oh my gosh, look at her. He'll say, yeah. And she lives in the gym, you know, somebody's cooking all her meals. Somebody's taking care of all her business, and that's all she's doing. And he's right.
Yeah.
So what helped you begin to heal your relationship with food and your body?
So once I reached out to my sister and I went and saw my doctors and had all my labs drawn, and basically got on HRT, hormone replacement therapy, I started feeling better. I was like, oh, okay, I don't feel so bad now. And then I was able to walk and just get back into the loop of exercise and moving my body, because I've always been very physically, I've lost for words right now, but just, yeah, physically motivated. I've always, run or walked or rode a bike. I've always just been very physically active. I've never been a sedentary person. And so then I started feeling better and I started eating better, cleaning up my diet. And then I realized one day there still was this underlying, because I could still find myself binging or hiding. I'd be like, oh, I really want that cookie. And I'd wait till everybody was in bed, and then I'd go in there and I wouldn't just get one, I'd get 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And so I found myself doing that. I was like, okay, you have to figure out what the root of this is. There's something more that's causing that. And so after I started like diving deep into some self-help and just getting emotional help support for myself, I realized what some of those problems, some of them started way in childhood, just family trauma and just growing up, being subjected to things that necessarily as a child you shouldn't be. My father was very stringent growing up. I loved him. He was very stringent, though. We never really got to sleep in on Saturday mornings like he was ready for us to go. He was just hard. He was hard, and I watched a lot of things, and that was had a huge impact, I think. And so once I forgave and healed from that, things just became much easier.
I know when it comes to compulsive eating, there's that feeling like you have to do it.
Right.
Like I used to drive to the grocery store when I was stationed in my first base. And so we're talking 93, 94, and just go go buy a bunch of junk food, eat it all driving home. And then when I get to my dorm, I just throw it up. And that was just something because I wanted to eat that junk food so bad, but I knew I didn't want to get that weight gain. Completely absorb the calories.
I've done that and taken laxatives. I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
We just think we've all done it, hidden behind it, but we've done it. I mean, it's there. Addiction runs in my family. Alcohol addiction runs in my family. And so I think, it doesn't necessarily have to be the alcohol. I never was a huge drinker. I like to drink now occasionally, but I never was a huge drinker. And I think for whatever reason, that was my addiction, was the food.
Yeah.
That was how I consoled myself, how I dealt with the pain, how I, even going through my first divorce, that was how I handled everything. It was food.
Yeah. I know my struggle with food really started when I started competing.
Yeah.
Because I've always been active. I was personal trainer in the military and did all that and tried to stay fit. But when I started competing, and then once the show would end, it's like, what do I do now?
Right.
Do I eat? So even when I was competing, I'd eat an Oreo cookie and I'd put the finger down my throat, get rid of it. Cause I was like, oh, I can't eat that. It's not with my calories and my macros. But after I competed, I would get in a really bad place. My body would, I still looked good, but in my head, I looked horrible.
Right.
So
that's body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I did that for 7 years to myself. And the last time I was just like, that's it. I'm done, because I'm killing myself. The people that can do it healthy with trainers and nutritionists, good for them. They have the money to do that. But when you don't have the resources to pay for someone all the time and you try to do it on your own, you fall into a trap like me where you're yo-yoing back and forth. And I did that to my body for 7 years.
And I've watched a lot of stories of a lot of women who are competitors that have done the same thing.
Good for you.
Well, they say if you have a bad relationship with food, you should never compete, because that will make it even.
Absolutely.
So how can we shift the narrative from control and shame to compassion and care?
I think that we have to speak like we're doing today. We have to speak, and we have to let women know it's okay. We are all broken. We are broken messes, and it's okay to be there. I don't want someone to settle for being overweight just because they think that's what it's supposed to be. But at the same time, I don't want to say, oh, I want to help you. But I do, because that is who I am. I want to help women. I want them to understand that you don't have to feel that way. And I do have lots of friends that reach out to me and they're like, what have you done? What are you doing? Please tell me. And I do share.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we have to do is we have to just keep being who we are. I just decided once I got to where I was, even though I still pick myself apart, and even though I'm still working on me, that I'm not going down like light. Like I want everyone to know, want people, women to be aware. I want to be able to guide, and set an example. If they come to me, great. If not, it's okay. If they see my story and it inspires them, which I have several that have reached out to me that they said it has, and that's awesome. And I want to continue to inspire and continue to work on me, because I think that's how those of us that are brave enough to inspire and get out there, we just have to keep doing it, because then those women will see it and be like, oh, okay, I don't have to hide in silence anymore.
Yeah.
I have to feel ashamed.
Right. So that's kind of leads us into our next question. For someone who's suffering in silence, especially in midlife, what advice would you give them?
Don't suffer in silence. I mean, I know first of all, I don't really know how you always know that somebody's suffering in silence. But if somebody approaches me and tells me, hey, like, what did you do? I need your help. Like, I'm going to reach out. I'm going to help them. I'm going to find resources for them. Resources are so important. And especially for women who are suffering from any kind of body dysmorphia or an eating disorder. Like, as a nurse, I was an elementary school nurse, and even as an elementary school nurse, you would not believe the small, young little girls that I would see that have eating disorders, and then they're made fun of at school. And so again, there we go into that silence. We withdraw. We think this is normal. This is the way it's supposed to be. So I just think we just have to advocate. We just have to be advocates.
I think that it's so important to know you're not alone.
Right.
The person sitting next to you is probably feeling the exact same way or went through your experience. And in midlife, I think it's becoming more acceptable now to talk about it.
Right.
Like, we talk about everything.
I do too.
That's probably one of the biggest things is talk about it. You're definitely both right. You're not alone, and we need to support one another, lift one another up.
And that's hard because women are hard.
Mm-hmm.
We are hard. We are vindictive. We can be jealous, and I don't want that. I want us to learn to be supportive and to just help one another out. I want somebody to live their best life. I don't care if they're off like losing weight or bodybuilding or whatever. I want them to live their best life. I want them to feel the best they can feel.
I think the best part of this phase in my life is those women who are vindictive, jealous, hateful. They're not in my life. I'm only keeping the best women around me.
Right.
And now, because when I was younger, I didn't speak up as much. But now I'm just like, okay, that's not a friend I want to have.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
I've learned that. I've learned to set boundaries. I do have some friends that in the very beginning when I started my journey, you lose people along the way.
Oh, yeah.
And that's okay. In the beginning, it was hard and there were a lot of tears shed. And I, would tell my daughter or my husband, I just don't understand. And they're like, it's okay. They're not where you are, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You keep doing you. And so that's important also, is for women to know that once they do start that journey, it's never going to be easy. It's just like being on social media. You can go on social media and listen. I watch people every day. They're just like tearing people apart on there. Like my mother always told us, if you didn't have something nice to say, just don't say it. And so you just have to learn to just keep moving forward.
Yeah. They say misery loves company.
Yes.
So people are all miserable at the bottom and they don't want you to rise up.
Right.
They're going to try to keep pulling you down.
Right.
So those are the type of people we need to just be like, out of my life.
And I've done that.
Yes, you have.
Good.
Okay, so tell us about your blog or your daughter's blog, Living Unscripted.
We like to say that, first of all, I love my daughter. We're super close and she's grown up, kind of as my best friend. We share a lot, but as we've gotten older, she's been through some trauma as well. And she has had to come out on the other side of that. And so she likes to say that I was the silent one, and I was growing up. I was the silent one. I was the one that never would say anything. I kind of hid the pain, stayed behind it. And then when I had her and we kind of grew up together because we did kind of grow up together. She is the voice of that pain. She has learned to heal not only her trauma, but help me heal mine. So it's basically about that. It's a lot about self-worth, healing trauma. Of course, you know, we can't leave out that we love clothes. We're both fashionistas. We love to shop and travel, and we love people, but it's just about being broken and knowing that it's okay and we're not the only ones.
Yeah.
And you can heal, and you have to learn to set boundaries. It's just, yeah.
Cindy was mentioning that she read it.
Yeah. And I know Kate, so I wanted to support her as well.
Yeah,
And you,
she'll be so excited.
Yeah. So I just wanted you to talk a little bit about it so people can go and read your blog
Right.
on It's actually just Blogspot, correct?
Right.
Right.
Right now it is.
It is.
Add a link because for every episode we do a blog post. We'll add the link to that if you leave it with us.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I want to thank y'all for having me today. I feel like I was kind of all over the place. Hopefully not. Menopause. You live like side of everything.
Yeah.
It does affect your memory. It affects everything.
But then you start talking, like you're on a certain topic, and then like 20 words later, you're like, wait, what was the question?
In nursing school, they call that word salad. I'm like, I'm so good at it.
Well, I just want to add at the end that I'm very proud of you for coming, you know, for what you've done and how you've changed your life and getting healthy. And you went from, you know, losing the 75 pounds to becoming a marathoner. It's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
So,
Well, I will say that running is a huge part, for my mental health
Oh, that's good.
of my therapy.
Yeah.
Huge part of it. And to the point where if I don't do it, I can really tell. You know, I start slipping off, and then I start being concerned that that old person is going to surface again. And so I have to keep myself motivated.
Yeah, definitely.
thank you.
You're welcome. Thank y'all.